All right, guys, what's up? This is the Nick and LG Night Live with Nick and LG. I apologize. We got Nick over there. I am the L to the motherfucking G. And we've got a great guest. I know he's trying to laugh. Sorry, I'm in a mood today. I've been making these guys laugh since before we started, so don't be surprised if this gets a little comical. But we do have a great guest with us. We've got singer, songwriter, entertainer, Mr. Jesse Quandt.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh man, I miss you, buddy. I haven't seen you since the Roadhouse.
I know it's been about a year almost now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, as you know, we had Joey on here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, listen to it.
Yeah, he was a great guest.
Listen to our podcast.
Yeah,
yes.
Finally, we've got a guest that listens to our podcast. All right, yes, we're moving up in the world. All right.
Well, you guys started at perfect time. It's quarantine. Nobody else has nothing to do, so podcasts are it.
Yeah, I mean, but we wanted to do this, try to help support the local communities and, for Spokane and kind of give people a different perspective on the nightlife.
Absolutely.
A lot of people, they go out to like the bars and the nightclubs and the comedy shows and they just see, they're there to have a good time.
Right.
And they only see what they see is like, hey, yeah, I'm, waiting in line for a drink or, this DJ sucks or, we're both pointing at each other.
I got in a fight there.
Yeah, well, they don't actually get to see the other side of the realm of the nightlife. They don't get to see the performers aspects. They don't get to see the bartenders, the bar staff, the owners, and that's basically what our main focus is, to try to help promote local businesses, local artists such as yourself.
I appreciate it. I know we all do.
And then we just kind of go from there. So now we've known each other for a while.
Yeah, going on 5 years, I think almost. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you were around when my daughter was born.
Yeah,
we had that discussion earlier. So she's working her way to be a singer herself.
Oh yeah,
the dancing and singing. So now what got you involved into the industry?
Right before I was about in 2009, 2010, I really got involved with songwriting, and I was in the Army at the time. I was on my last deployment in 2010, and I just started writing a whole slew of songs. And one of my very best friends of this day, Billy Kennedy out of Atlanta, Georgia, told me, "Hey, you need to sing for real." And so we'd been home off our deployment for I think maybe a couple weeks, maybe 3-4 weeks, and my son was like, my wife was about 2 weeks away from giving birth, and he calls me up on like a Thursday night, and he's like, "Hey, I got you a show with the Shriners Mason Lodge," and that was it. It all started there. I had a show, and I came out, managed, build up at a joint every Friday and Saturday, playing, recorded my first EP, and it just became, it was like the drug after that. Addicted, got in deeper, kept writing, kept playing, got out of the Army in 2013. Kept writing, kept playing, and just kept pushing as far as I could, and that's kind of where I'm at now. Much further now, and but that's where it started. I played music forever before I actually went in the Army. I was going to go to college for percussion. I was a drummer by trade, but in 2003 I decided to join the Army. So that was where it really all started. Yeah, now we're here.
So as a drummer, what made you decide to go from a jumper to the Army to country music? Like, what made you go that direction?
There's a few answers to that. I couldn't hold drums everywhere I went in the Army. I already played. Yeah, I couldn't. And I already played guitar. I wasn't a great guitar player. I was that guy that I could strum a few chords, and I was that jerk that could play Wonderwall at a party. So being in the Army forced me to actually play guitar all the time when I wasn't doing anything. So I became the guy who always brought his guitar out in the field. How's that? When you're in the Army, you got your one bag, you got the essentials only. I was that dickhead that had to bring his guitar everywhere. And that's just, I started doing open mic nights when I was in Germany in random clubs. I play rock, blues, and country, and that's where the transition was. 03 came along, and the war kicked off in Iraq, and just about every friend that I had was joining. By the time 9/11 happened, half my friends had enlisted in the Air Force and the Marines, and so by the time 03 rolled around, Iraq had kicked off. 36 days later, I enlisted. I remember my band teacher was livid. He was just livid that I wasn't going to college, and it was just a path that I had to follow. My granddad served, my uncle served, father served, and so that was the calling that I followed. And I wouldn't change it to this day for anything. Really, I wouldn't. So that was really kind of what led me there.
So after the Army, you come here, America. Where was your first venue that you played at here?
A little place in Fairbanks, Alaska, when I was stationed up at Fort Wainwright. It was a little, it was a tattoo parlor, and they would get just rows of people coming in to get tattoos, piercings. And so the owner of it, he was managing me, and I came in, and they'd put me up on Friday and Saturday nights, and they'd have literally a potluck. Like, have chili feed night, spaghetti night. They'd have pizza night. There's kids running all around. Mom and Daddy's getting a half sleeve done, listening to country music. It sounds
Perfect.
crazy, but it was cool. And that's really where the first venue was. And after that, when I decided to kind of move on, say, okay, I think I know where I want to go with this, or I have an idea of the next step I want to take. We moved down to Seattle as soon as I got out of the Army. And it was just supposed to be a quick stop. We stayed there for just under 2 years. And then I had a band there where I was writing real hard. We rented out concert hall there.
You're good. I'm listening.
No, I know that.
I'm multitasking. I'm hearing a fan on the backside.
You could. And that's where, I kind of figured that's where I got real in depth with, okay, I know what I want to do now. I have the skills to do it. I need the musicians to do it. And the story goes, my wife and I sold just about everything we had. And we gave 2 weeks notice at our jobs over in Auburn and Tacoma. And we bought an old 1972 Kit Companion trailer, remodeled it, and it had a leaky sewer system, which will come in important later.
Awesome.
And we set out for Nashville.
It wasn't the Dave Matthews leaky sewer?
No.
Right? Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
No. And we left, and my wife is real close to my parents. I'm originally from the Newman Lake State Line area. And when we got to Spokane, she's like, "Oh, I want to stay here." I was like, No, we've been here 23 days. We're leaving in 2 days. So we're either going to Dallas or we're going to Nashville. I've got jobs in both places, and Spokane's not the place to be for me. And so we thought about it, and lo and behold, we stayed in Spokane. And you had Joey Shalou on the podcast, and Joey I owe a lot to, because when I got here to Spokane, I was like, man, there's a lot of music here. I don't even know where to start. Nobody knows me. None of the musicians know me. I don't even have any recorded music yet. No one's going to want to play with me. So my wife, after, going through 2 agents, people who can promise you the world, after going to Nashville and finding out, man, Nashville, I don't know if it's actually where I want to be. She starts calling venues to get me booked. And the Roadhouse was one of those that she kept bugging. And so Joey, I didn't know at the time, says to her, have him come in this date. Well, it was an open mic night. He gave me like an extra 3 or 4 songs to sing worth of minutes. Remember, he gave everyone like 15-minute, 20-minute blocks.
Right.
He gave me almost 30. And after I was done, he says to me, "Who's that hard-nosed bitch that keeps calling me?" I was like, "That's my wife." He goes, "Tell her to keep doing what she's doing." And so my wife, she has been effectively managing a lot of booking and a lot of what I do, financially, some of the sponsors and other things. She's been managing it now for 4 years, 4.5 years. And she's, hats off to her because she's worked her ass off. And sometimes she hasn't been the one to read through awards,
Right.
And that's kind of where it's got me into. But Joey, after he said that, it was he had a show coming up in 2 weeks. One of my big idols. 90s country was always a huge deal to me. I love 90s country because I grew up in the 90s as a conscious, young man. And Tim Rushlow, Little Texas, listen to that guy kick it hard. He was like, and so when Joey said Tim Rushlow's coming, would you like to open for him? I was like, well, hell yeah.
Right.
So that was really the light that just that was the spark that lit the fuse for where I'm at really now here in this area, and then have the ability to set out and really hit the road too. So
yeah, I think that's about the time we met.
Yeah.
All
those late nights at the Roadhouse, open mic nights, jam sessions, shows that we'd have, and then he'd call me up, and if it was Josh Grayson opening up for him or anybody else that came.
We had I think we had Parmalee.
Parmalee was right before I came.
Right before you came.
Yeah, okay. It was right before I came. But
who was the other one? Christy. I'm trying to think of the other.
Meg Lindsay.
No, there was a Christy one in there too. She was like a American Idol final. I'd have to look it up. I don't know. Jacob, can you look that up for me?
Local girl?
No. It's Christy Lee Cook.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right before me as well.
Yeah.
I remember her.
Yeah, I actually met her. I was working there. I think Fred's still on the place back then.
Yeah, because when I came in, Joey had just bought the Roadhouse, I think 5 or 6 months prior.
Right. Yeah, I think I don't think it was, well, love you, Joey. Same as Joe O'Connor. I think it was more of along the lines of they took over.
Whatever you want to call it. Yeah,
there she is.
I don't know.
Yeah, Christy Lee Cook. Yeah, she was awesome. She's actually, she's born out of Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she was awesome too. So it's kind of nice to know that we have, a lot of local artists that are actually doing something.
He supported it too, and I had no idea of Joey's, his background.
Oh yeah.
I had no clue of his background until somebody told me, what he has done, and what I think it was Joe. I think it was Little Joe who told me that.
Little Joe, yeah.
Yeah, Little Joe was the one who told me. Said, "Well,
that's kind of funny because Little Joe's been with him almost every step of the way."
And that's that's what I found out, that they were like Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
and I was like, so I talked to.
I'm not picking the Batman and Robin.
I'm not either.
Either way,
I will shut up.
Either way, they're an awesome tag team.
Yeah, no, they are, and they both. I learned so much from them, from every aspect. That I don't think you could have, especially at the very beginning, starting out, trying to figure out. Let me get my ground about me here, my feet about me. I don't think I could have had a better teacher at the beginning.
Those guys are
both
awesome.
of them.
I mean, they taught me. I mean, like when I was doing sound for the Big Easy, when I started first learning into the whole sound industry. I mean, I had Bill Neiman, which I love the guy to death, and I had Dave Fish, also great people. And I was a cocky, arrogant little sumbitch, back then, and I was. Well,
I love you.
Yeah, I know. I've gotten better.
I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
All right. But it wasn't until I got to deal with those two.
Yeah.
And I say got to deal with those two because, they educated me. They showed me a lot of stuff that I as much as I love those two guys, man, those guys got me started. And then these guys showed me some real intricate and I taught me how to use digital boards. I was selling them all the time at Guitar Center, but I didn't know shit about how to use them.
Right.
I could use an analog board all day from Sunday. But,
sure.
And it wasn't until we got in there and they had that Yamaha digital board, and I got to learn a lot more than I knew.
Right.
And so I tip my hat to those gentlemen.
Oh, sure.
Far,
yeah.
So now, how many? I know. I think last time we talked, you were working on a CD, or just put one out.
Yeah, I put the last time we talked was last year, and I put my EP. I was getting ready to put my EP out, and that dropped last July, and it did great, and we had fun with it. I had a lot of fun. Shot my first music video with one of the songs. And I guess one of the cool things in the position that I'm in is when I go do a show, especially when I go to farther away places, like when I go down to Colorado or Oregon or Montana or Kansas or something, I play a show. I may have played the dog shit out of some of these songs that I've been playing for 5, 6, 7 years, but to everyone else in the crowd, it's brand new. So they're like, "Oh man, I really love that song," and so I love being able to do that. Be like, I don't need to write another damn thing for a long time. No, I'm just kidding. I like that a lot. Now, with quarantine and everything, a lot changed in my idea of how, I guess I'm always evolving. How do you want to write? How do you see yourself? And we kind of talked about this earlier. Like, well, what do you want to be? Quit playing what everybody says you should play, or writing how they say you should write, or even portraying yourself to do something. What do you want to do? So when I sat down to write this next project that I've been working on, it was a whole different story. It was a whole different vibe, and it really came from a lot of my roots of what I grew up on, and just kind of the truly inner me of not only the story but the feel behind it.
Right. You could be, and I feel you on that. I mean, you could be the next, Dierks Bentley, or you can be the first one.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the biggest things ever stuck with me. The first guy who I ever had any professional dealing with, who was big producer in Nashville, he said, "Well, let me ask you something. Who do you like to listen to on country right now?" And I think I said something. I don't know. I probably had said something like Jason Aldean or something like that. And he's like, "Nashville's already got Jason Aldean. What about you?" I said, "Well, yeah, I like to be me." He goes, "Then be you."
Right.
And that was end of conversation.
Yeah.
And so ever since that, and maybe it shot myself in the foot, because I got friends who do write in the big writers circle down in Nashville, and who have been a part of cuts of singles and songs, and I'm like, well, that's cool. But it became more to me than, I think, in the last 3 years, especially, than hunting or fishing for a record deal or an agency or something or other. And it became more like, just do your own thing, march the beat of your own drum. Yeah. And whenever you're playing to be different, you're rolling the dice. And yeah, that is a risky thing, but at least you're being original. The last thing you want to be is some copycat, fake ass thing out there, and that's what I don't want to ever be.
Right. No, I feel you on that one.
No, I know a lot of people know you and watch you from social media, YouTube, stuff like that. To kind of let everybody know, even on podcasts, and I don't think we mentioned yet, what direction are you going to go? What direction are you going to go on tour? Are you going to write songs for other artists? What direction are you going to go?
I got 2 kids at home, and to relate to that question, I never asked my kids, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Because I told them I'm 35 and I'm still trying to figure out what the hell I want to be when I grow up. And
me too.
The thing is, I've lived out, one of my dreams, which was being in the military. Ran a really good 10-year running the Army. I don't know exactly. It's wherever the winds take me. I'm very, very, very strong in my faith of God. Wherever He wants me to take it, and I'm not sure where that is yet. I've written 2 songs now for one for a cable TV show for Northwest Fishing Reports. I just cut the theme song for Jamie Patrick's morning show, and they debuted it today. Actually, I don't know where I'm going to go with it. I'm going to keep writing songs that are from the heart, that I think it's sometimes songwriting to me, instead of writing a song that you think somebody wants to hear, like, I'm going to tailor this song to something like, I know Chris Stapleton sings a lot about this, so maybe I can slide this song to him. I can't do that. It sounds so fake when I try to write something. I've tried it so many times, and when I try to sing it or record it, I'm just like, this is the biggest pile of crap I've ever heard. And I throw it away. I've got hundreds of songs that are like that, and I'll be like, oh, this is awesome. And about 3 whiskeys, and I'm like recording it, and then I'm like by the 4th whiskey, I'm like, what am I doing? And I'll throw 3 or 4 hours of work out the window and just go away from it. I don't know. Touring, yeah, definitely. I miss, this was going to be the biggest year. I had shows booked in Florida. I had shows booked in Texas, Arizona, California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado. That was going to be the run. I had all but 4 shows solidified. And then we were in talks. We just had to finish up a couple things. And then COVID hit. This was going to be by far be the biggest, most busiest, insane year that I had. I didn't know what was going to come of it. All I know is that I was actually going to make a little bit of money, because a lot of times, you don't make a lot of money or anything once you clear overhead. Right. Got band members, got equipment, got bills. You ain't making nothing.
Travel.
Exactly. And the travel kills it, Yeah. And then, so I don't know, touring next year, I don't know. I will tour again. I will hit the road again. I will book another tour. Definitely, I will book another tour, and we'll do it. I don't know to what extent, and I don't know where to. We'll have to see how this whole COVID thing goes. I don't think we'll actually do big runs for probably another year, a year and a half. I just don't feel like it.
Right.
Every agent that I've talked to who books the bigger boys said they're not doing anything big, and if they're not, I can't see larger venues like something the size of the Knit or the Fox or the Bing wanting to book 2 local acts from 2 states away and thinking that they're going to make money, unless we're going back to the 1950s and 60s, which God would be amazing if we could do that and start pushing more music out. But I just don't see that happening. But we will do that. And as far as songwriting, I may, but we'll just kind of have to see what comes out of it. This next project, like I said, I'm excited for. I take it back a little bit and take it back to a little bit of the Muscle Shoals days. Take it even further, a little bit of Delta blues. I've been playing guitar now since I was 4 years old. I started lessons with a real advanced guitar player on slide guitar, using the slide and getting deep into my blues roots from my dad. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, I'm a lowly.
No, get out of here.
It's my point is my idea of creation versus your idea of creation are completely different. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, if you're really into a certain style or genre, like me personally, Nick can attest to it. I'm more of a 80s old school hip hop. I think I pretty much cap out at about 2008.
Right.
Yeah. Just on the real. I mean,
a lot of us do, man.
There was a lot of good stuff afterwards, and I throw that in. But I'm used to dealing with non-mumble rap. I guess that's the easiest way to say that. We got other people that are into dubstep, trance, house. I know he's included in a bit of that. Being a little bit younger.
I have to play that in the club, DJ.
See,
I really don't have a choice.
But no, I get what you're saying with that. When you're talking about trying to do songwriting for other people,
yeah,
it almost feels like you can either try to fake it till you make it, or you can actually be true to yourself and actually write something that you feel good about,
right?
And then throwing it out there and seeing if it hits.
Yeah, and that's what it is, and that's hard. Even to get in that realm. And the question, if I would write for another artist, if they wanted it, well, sure, I wouldn't turn it down. I mean, I'm not in this to be rich, but boy, I'd like to get paid eventually, man. Guitars are not cheap, and my wife's gonna kill me one day.
Ghostwriters are ghostwriters,
I don't care. As long as the mortgage is paid, and I'm good. It'd be cool if an artist came out and said, "Hey, I'd like to record this song."
Right.
Absolutely. I'd never turn that down. I had one opportunity to take a smaller deal to write for a label. And I don't know. Sometimes when you get offered certain things, whether it's an opportunity to kind of sign on with an agent or an agency, or everybody that approaches you at one point or another, they all know something, they all know somebody, and they can all give you everything you ever wanted. All your dreams will come true. You know, you'll see Mickey Mouse tomorrow at Disneyland, and I think that you become, at least for me, I got kind of, there were some times where I got kind of burnt that I became real guarded on the choices that I made and who I did business with.
Right.
And that's why I brought everything in to, having my wife help manage me and everything, and a couple close friends taking care of it.
So me and LG are DJs, of course. It's a very cutthroat business as far as getting jobs booked.
Yeah.
Singer wise and bars, clubs, on that side of things, is that kind of the same aspect? Is it more a cutthroat industry? Like, is there a lot of song artists? What do you think?
There are, oh yeah. And it exists every business you're in. The backstabbing and pitting against each other and the he said, she said. That shit exists everywhere. But anytime you're in any entertainment business, whether it be music, DJing, singing, any artist business, any TV, anything, it intensifies because it's your image that's out there. It's not just a regular 9 to 5. You're not just trying to impress the boss and hopefully get a raise, or make your market your job. You're trying to make a brand, an imprint, and really put your foot down and say, this is who I am, this is what I do. And even if you're honest and nice about it, somebody's still going to come up and try to kick you right in the teeth.
That's definitely happened to us a few times. I got a specific name in mind.
Oh, we're dropping names. Watch out now.
No.
I name dropping.
To be quite honest with you, I could, but I'm better than that.
Yes.
I'm better than him too. So, and I'm okay with that.
Sure.
For a while there, Nick knows exactly who I'm talking about. I had the same problem. I had somebody that was basically trying to ride my coattails. And then anytime I'd start getting something going, they'd sneak in behind my back and try to undercut me, take over the spot.
Right.
And that's where the integrity comes in. If you're as good as if you are as good as you say you are, and you live up to what you do, nobody's getting you out of that. And I respect a lot of bar owners because they've had my back on that.
That's good.
And with country, I mean, obviously I'm not a country. Well, I guess I am a country DJ now.
Yeah, you kind of are a country DJ. You're a full country DJ.
Country's a wide, large genre now. You got to be careful with that C word.
Well, I know, but and to be quite honest with you, I know, like when I grew up, the country that I grew up on is nothing like the country of today. I mean, it's the shit that I used to not really listen to, but get stuck listening to or having to hear, in my opinion. If you play the shit backwards, your dog gets better, your wife comes back and your truck's fixed. So
that's the best thing about country music, though.
No, it's supposed to be heartache and pain, but there's just too much twang, and
Sure.
and you already know.
I get it.
But some of those, I really like, like Neon Moon.
Oh, sure.
Beautiful song.
Absolutely.
And as you get into the newer genres like Brantley Gilbert.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's got some really good stuff too.
I like his stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But with our area, I mean, unless you do like an outskirts performance, I mean, it's kind of hard to really play anywhere. I mean, at one point I think we had, what would we have? We had the Roadhouse. We had Jeremy Lacombe took over and reopened State Line.
Yep.
Which is also a great guy. And I know he put out a song called Wagon Wheel, which was also done by Darius Rucker.
Yeah.
I found that out the hard way because I actually, when he opened the bar, I played the Darius Rucker version.
Oh, yeah.
The first night, not realizing that he had also recorded it as well.
Yeah.
Good job.
And well, you know what? That's what happens. And no, Jeremy's a great guy. I really like Jeremy. I like Bob. In fact, I'm working on Bob, trying to get him into the podcast to help promote for Nashville North too, another country establishment. So, but I know obviously with COVID, there's so many issues right now. I mean, it's really hard to play anywhere here.
Mhm.
But I do know other states are opening up for certain things. You'd mentioned Texas earlier.
Yeah.
I know they're opening up quite a bit. Would you obviously, you'd most likely be interested in actually going down and actually doing shows in other states? Is that something you'd be willing to do? Or
Oh yeah. Yeah. As long we're getting into the touchy subjects here now. Yeah, I'm not against it. When it comes down to today's age, everything becomes political. I don't care what you do, and I'll just put it real plain and simple. Regardless of what you believe in nowadays, you can't say anything. You're always wrong. Somebody's always going to want to kill you for what you say, and no matter what it comes down to, if they don't like it or that someone disagrees with it, it'll always become political.
right?
I'm pretty. I remain as neutral as possible because, I was in the Army for 10 years, man. I had enough aggression built up in me to take out a friggin' building. I get it. To just punch through a solid steel wall. And nowadays, in my older age, especially with kids, I try to maintain a pretty neutral and more level-headed persona as much as I can. And so when people are like, "Oh, you'd go down and play a show," well, yes, I would. I'm not opposed to it one bit. You're kind of responsible for what you do.
Right.
If you want to go out and if you want to be hugging on each other, that's you're gonna get sick. You're gonna get sick. I mean, I don't know how many times I've done shows and bars and meet and greets at a bigger show where people get sick and they get up in your face, and the next thing you know, you're waking up with a sore throat and a fever of 100 degrees, and you still got a show to do that evening, and it sucks, but that's what it is. And as far as no, I'm not opposed to it. No, it just hasn't. I know Texas opened back up, and I got a call from an agent down there, and we were getting ready to start again, but then they shut back down a lot of the venues they were going to do shows in. And so he called me back about a month or right after that happened. I guess it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago when they shut back down hardcore. He was like, "I'll scratch it for now. It's not happening." So it's not something I'd oppose. No.
Right. Well, and like we do, at the end of the day, our kids got to eat. Our family's got to. Our family's got to be taken care of, and it is what it is.
Mhm.
If I could get, I was offered at one point a spot for to actually DJ Caribbean Cruise Line.
Oh yeah.
10 days out, fly me down, $1,000 a night. It was a good gig. Circumstances happen, didn't work. It's okay. But if with everything here, the best thing to do is, like I said, at the end of the day, you gotta take
it. Is lost. We did lose a lot of income here. Especially my family, we've had to make major adjustments, but we're just playing it by ear. Just having faith. And, a lot of people want to curse 2020. I'm actually real thankful for 2020. It's taught me a lot about people, about true colors of a lot of folks. Taught me a lot about patience, having a lot more patience, leaning on my faith more than thinking that I could have control when I have none. And it also gave me a lot more time with my family. I haven't had that much time with my family.
It gives you a lot more time with your family.
Yeah, the last 4 or 5 years, I've been on the go constantly, whether it was local shows or shows that were on the road.
Slow down a little bit, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. My daughter graduated this year, crying out loud. So it was great to be able to go to her graduation and chill out with her. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gosh, yeah.
So, we're we thank you very much for coming out. Do you have a new CD coming out anytime soon, or
it probably will be released? I'll be releasing at least 1 or 2 new songs prior to Christmas. I know that. I'm working on them right now, and I'll have I can't say that I'll release a full album for a long time because it's just so expensive, and nobody listens to 12, 13 songs straight anymore.
Nope.
So if you release 1 or 2 songs here, it's a way more.
I'm not gonna lie, man. If I see you actually put a full cassette out, I will buy it.
Oh,
just
for nostalgia, baby.
I will
say cassette.
I'm going to work on that.
That's before your time. Sorry,
man. It's these little rectangular deals. And
I know what a cassette.
I've got a Hello Kitty boombox at work, and I'm going to keep this brief because I got a mess. So one of the kids works there, and I got this Hello Kitty boombox. It's got the CD player on top, right? And the cassette player, right? And so I walked up. I was like, "Hey, I want to educate you on something." He's like, "What's that?" And I got one of my other guys, Mike. He's standing next to me, and I was like, "Look!" And I hit the eject button. I was like, "That's a cassette player." Mike lost it.
Oh my god! I think I have some old New Kids on the Block laying around somewhere. Or something.
Let's not go there.
We'll
talk about that afterwards. I actually got kicked out of a KB Toys because of them. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. But we got to check out Jesse. Thank you very much for coming out.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yes, thank you.
We'll definitely bring you back on when we get some stuff moving. So.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.
So, all right. That is Nick. I am LG. This is Night Live. And thank you guys for watching. And we will catch you tomorrow night with Kevin Dodson.
Kevin Dodson.
Yes, Kevin Dodson. Good night, y'all.